So this is a trick where we can use regression on the calculators. Now, if you remember your linear regression projects and your career choice projects, hopefully that kind of sticks in, has stuck, since we've done them. So what we're going to do in the calculator is we're going to go to Stat and Edit, okay? Um, and we're just going to put these numbers in here. So let's say we were trying to come up with a formula for this one, just to pick a random one, okay? So one way to do this is to plug in these numbers, and this is all you really need. Now, careful, don't plug in the numbers into the first column. I would plug these into the second column. So we have 5, 15, 45, and 135. Now you're probably going, well, what am I supposed to plug into the first column? Let me tell you, sweet child. In the first column, so remember, these are patterns. And this is the first number of the pattern. This is the second number, third number, fourth number. So your X value, or in this case, in this chapter, our N value is going to be 1 for the 5, 2 for the 15, 3, and then 4, okay? So you have these in your stat. Now, what I want to do is I want to see what these look like on the graph. But if you graph them, you don't see them, right? And if you press zoom and go down to zoom stat, I still don't see them. Why? That's because when you go to y equals, remember, you got to go up on plot and then press enter. So you see now if I go down, it's highlighted. Now, if yours was already highlighted, you probably should have seen your points as soon as you press zoom stat. Not in my case. So, and if you notice above y equals, it says stat plot in blue. If I go to second y equals, this is another way to turn them on. Here you can actually kind of get more in depth as to, what you want your graph to look like. What you want each plot to look like. Like, do you want a dot? Do you want a line graph? Do you want a bar graph? Do you want a box and whisker plot, etc.? What do you want to make your X column? What do you want to make your Y column? And do you want to use squares as your markers, or do you want to use a plus sign or whatever? And what color do you want them to be? So let's just change it up. This honestly has nothing to do with. This is just extra stuff just to be different. And let's use plus signs. Why not? Okay. Because we're trying to be positive here. Now, if I go to graph, there's one, zoom, option 9. There we go. So then from here, you can kind of say, okay, well, what kind of a function is this? So if you look at the graph, using your zoom stat and using these on the calculators, notice how I have green plus signs. Looks pretty cool. Bet you don't have that. Okay. So from here, it's like, okay, well, this could be exponential or this could be quadratic. So if you wanted to, just to be sure, or just to be safe, if you go to stat and then you go right to calc, what type of regression do you think this is? Well, if you think it's quadratic, you would put quadrag. Now watch this. For store regression equation, I am going to press the variables button, so vars, move right to y vars because we're storing it under y equals, and I know my y's are blank, so I'm just going to store it under y1, calculate. Okay, and then you get this, so that way when you go to y equals, that's automatically typed in for you. If this is too confusing, you can always just write it down. Write down whatever you got in the calculator, in the calculating portion, and type and input it by hand. But this is a lot quicker if you actually just get the hang of it. So it could also be an exponential regression. Okay, so and let's store it this time. I'm going to do it again, but this time I'm going to store it, under Y2. Calculate. So if this is confusing, what I was saying is you can always just type these in manually, but it's just going to save you a lot of time if you know how to do this. So now if I go to Y equals, notice that they're all there. So now if I go back to my graph, that was pretty quick. I don't know if you saw what happened, but so the blue one is my quadratic. The red one, as indicated here, is my exponential one. So this would help you determine that this is an exponential regression, which by the end of this unit, you will know, because this is another way to call these are geometric sequences. So where's my little baby graph? Okay. Let me go back and so okay. So for formula, you're just plugging these in. It would be, we're going to use the new notation this time. A sub n equals A, which was 1.6 repeating, okay, or 1 2/3, or 5/3. So, and then times 3 to the n. Why am I writing this up here? I have no idea. Let's move it down here. And oops, a little A buddy. Okay, so that's it. I wonder if you can do math enter. Boo. Okay. All right. So that's it. But that's how you can do that. And now, if you wanted to find the 10th term or any term, you can also just go to second and then table. That's not a table because I didn't press second. So remember this, the red one is our exponential one. And if you go down to your 10th term, and look how these numbers literally match up that pattern. That's pretty cool. Our 10th term would be 98,415. Next term after 135 was that 405. So, okay. It's a lot of options. And knowing how to use this technology is going to help save up not only a lot of time, but it's just really cool to do. And it's awesome. So, all right, guys, I'm done. Hope to see you all later in our Zoom session.